Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Kudlow. I'm Larry Kudlow. Great pleasure. All right, folks, get ready. Edge of your seats. President Joe Biden is finally going to bite the bullet with a major address to Congress and the rest of the country tonight. This would represent his 98th day in office, so we're going to round up and call it the 100th day speech. But this is serious business. Mr. Biden is attempting to completely transform America's economy, its culture, its race relations, its immigration, and, of course, its taxing, spending, and regulating policies. Now, I've said this many times. With the greatest respect to President Biden and his office, I find myself in virtual, complete disagreement with this approach. A country whose economy is rapidly recovering from the tragic pandemic, where polls routinely show that over two-thirds of voters reject the notion of systemic racism, where virtually everyone understands we cannot have open borders. Essentially, there is no support for federalized election reform or packing the Supreme Court or abolishing the Senate filibuster. To me, his approach is pure folly. It will do vastly more harm than good, whatever his good intentions may be. Now, we'll see how he tries to sell this radical left agenda this evening, but it's going to be a tough sell. The Democratic left of Bernie Sanders and Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, they're giving President Biden rave reviews for coming over to their side more rapidly and more comprehensively than anyone expected, including me. President Biden today told a group of TV anchors that he has united the Democratic Party. As for working with Republicans, the president said, and I quote, "For the other party, I'm not in a position to do much to be able to help on that score until they come to their milk on this." Well, he's going to have a long wait, but I'm not really sure what he meant by come to their milk. But I would note that milk is not plant-based and therein violates the Green New Deal. Just a joke, kids, but worth saying. Being back to serious, I want to single out three major problems in Mr. Biden's policy arsenal that are of great concern to me. First, he is conducting a war on investment, and therefore a war on jobs and wages, by jacking up investment taxes to marginal rates we haven't seen in over 50 years. In particular, moving the corporate tax rate from 21 to 28%, which will be over 30% using combined federal-state corporate tax rates. Second, increasing the tax on global cash held by American companies from 10.5% to 21%. That is a killer. And third, doubling the core capital gains tax from 20 to 40%. And remember, this is a second tax on corporate profits with integrated rates in the mid-50s. And you add in high tax states like New York, California, you'd be moving into the low 60s at a minimum. Nothing like this has ever been seen before. Now, Mr. Biden's team believes this will raise money to finance their social programs. Let's not forget, in a mere 100 days, $6.35 trillion in additional spending. $6.35 trillion. Now, here's a quick take on this from Senator Ted Cruz on all that spending.
They want massive new taxes, massive regulations. That is going to kill jobs. It's going to drive down your wages. It's going to put you and your kids and your grandkids deeper and deeper in debt. And, you know, I've joked, I really hope that nobody tells the Democrats what comes after $1 trillion.
That is a totally hilarious joke on a Ted Cruz adjusted basis. Just kidding, Senator. Keep up the good work, and please come on our show soon. By the way, Biden's spending is likely to continue to work through 51-vote reconciliations in the Senate. It's a partisan process that really violates the spirit, if not the rules, behind reconciliation. You shouldn't be able to do it 3 times in 1 year. Trump never did it more than once a year for these budgetary purposes. And the big COVID relief packages during Trump's term totaled $3.5 trillion, did not use reconciliation, and was genuinely bipartisan. But Joe Biden's Washington doesn't seem to realize whatever revenues they think will come will be hugely short, because these high tax policies will sink the economy, they will reduce employment and curtail real wages. That, by the way, is going to put more people on social welfare programs, which is absolutely not what we want. Now, everybody knows the best welfare program is a good paying job. By attacking investment seed corn, which lowers productivity, loses jobs, and lowers wages, we're going to get more welfare and fewer jobs. Now, I would add to this an enormous leap in regulatory burdens, particularly aimed at fossil fuel energy. In the name of the Green New Deal, itself a radical proposal that Biden campaigned against, we will be stifling the economy by reducing American energy and power sources. Therefore, it is anti-growth. It's recovery killing. There should be an all-of-the-above energy strategy that produces more power and therefore more growth and therefore puts America first, not only in the global race for capital, but in the global race for energy and power. And my final issue this evening is Biden's war against work. This is so important, and it may be the single most pernicious aspect of his mistaken policies. Welfare without work has become a rallying cry of Team Biden's social tinkerers and central planners. A perfect example is the child tax credit. It used to be, after the historic Clinton-Gingrich welfare reforms of the mid-90s, that things like the child tax credit and the earned income tax credit were rewards for work. In other words, you couldn't get them unless you were working. They were incentives to work. Work is part of the American dream. There is dignity in work. But now, Biden proposes to remove these work incentives and instead provide a cash grant system on a monthly basis, roughly $3,600 per month. This could cost about $1.5 trillion over the next 10.5 years, with a loss of about 450,000 American jobs. But in addition, non-marital teenage births will be eligible for this tax credit. This is new. The welfare reforms of 25 years ago, which were bipartisan, tried to prevent non-work and non-marriage. Unless non-married teen mothers lived with a responsible adult and were in school, they wouldn't have been eligible for a child tax credit. Now they are. No work, no marriage strikes me at the root of our traditional American ethos.